Welcome to UNCAGED, a show celebrating thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the world of commerce tomorrow. Today we have Larry Harris on the show. Hi, Larry.
Hey, Bent.
Larry is the co-founder and chief executive officer of Alpha Precision Media. Larry's had an incredible career in marketing, but a little bit more about Alpha. It's an omni-channel delivery company that leverages full funnel commerce strategies to deliver data-based advertising campaigns that help brands and media buyers achieve their business goals. Larry, I'm sure you're going to simplify that kind of description a little bit in a second, but I would say anything that relates to marketing and bringing that together with commerce is really where Alpha is playing these days. Larry and I have known each other for years. He has an incredibly accomplished career in the worlds of marketing, programmatic media, mobile marketing, creative. I think it's so. It would be a shame if I didn't mention all the way back to the Budweiser frogs, Larry. But literally, there's been this individual, this man has touched so many amazing things in the marketing world. I'm really excited to talk to you today about this next step that you've just taken in launching Alpha Precision Media. So, Larry, let's kick off and talk a little bit about you and your background. Tell us a little bit about where you started and a little bit about your career to date.
Sure. I started long ago. I was started as a copywriter for obviously the now famous novelist Jim Patterson, working on Burger King and a bunch of other things. Those were back in the days when it was even harder to get into advertising. And so I actually used my status as a Black man to get my first interview. You had to sneak your books in your creative portfolio to get a job, and I couldn't get anyone to see my portfolio. So I started to pretend like, and this is before 9/11, you could actually walk into office buildings. I started to pretend as if I was a messenger. And lo and behold, I could get into anybody's office. I would just take my portfolio and say, I'm here to drop this portfolio at this creative director's office. And that's how I got my first couple of interviews. And that's and ultimately ended up getting a job at J. Walter Thompson, thanks to the efforts of some folks, Lee Covell and Linda Baff, and Jim giving me a shot. So started then, went out to America to work at now defunct DMB&B to kick it on Budweiser. Ended up on the young adult team, rocked a couple of Super Bowls, and had a great time, and left there to come back to New York to start a tech group, CB, and lucked out, got to work on the breakup of AT&T, and then fantastic growth. And then we sold to IPG, which is where you and I came together. And I had a blast at IPG. I got to work at Draft and work on some big integrated accounts, Bank of America, Computer Associates, and others. And I got to kick it with you and do a lot of innovation stuff, which, it's your fault that I became a startup guy. So
yeah, you can. It's squarely on my shoulders, Larry. Absolutely. But I mean, I'm happy. I might have been the cause to that, because
it's all you. You talked me into rocking Ansible Mobile, and then I went off to become a consultant. Ultimately, became CMO of PubMatic, and then their first CMO, and then moved on to work on YouTube at Sightly, and kind of experience across Facebook and across Google convinced me, Amazon, the third pool of data. Facebook, they know what you like. Google, obviously, they know what you search for. Amazon know what products you research, and more importantly, they know what you buy and where you receive it and what devices you're on. They also know what Prime videos you watch. And so I just got excited about the opportunity to take this amazing pool of first-party data audiences with so much insight and so many buyer signals and extend it to on Amazon and agencies.
That's great. And I'm very happy that you've stepped into launching Alpha Precision Media.
Your fault again, Ben.
Yeah, no, it's
I was
it's
almost out the door on that one. Anyway.
I think launching a business really that focuses on that kind of space, which is really helping brands navigate the world of Amazon and all of this. Really, I would say where marketing is the cutting edge of marketing right now is very, very important, and certainly you're a perfect navigator for those companies. But for you, when you came up with the thought and the idea of Alpha, what was the, let's say, the Eureka moment behind the idea, and how did that coalesce into a business?
The Eureka moment was just running some test outcomes, and so generally speaking, when I pitch people on letting me invest their money in driving sales for them, I'm big on results, always have been, and it's always been a driver for me since I started my career. I've always cared about the outcome as well as was the message persuasive, and did it appear in places where people could see it. And so, I ran some test stuff on Amazon. I thought it was great. Nobody really knew how to use the DSP, and so they weren't using it. And obviously, no matter how you view the funnel or think of it, you do need to drive awareness. You do need consideration, and you're advantaged in Amazon for tell stories across all the different medium. You can tell a branded story on CTV. You can do retargeted banners that reach out off of Amazon and onto ESPN and onto Vogue and onto the New York Times. And and then when you get them on Amazon, we all do is we search. No one in history has ever gone to the men's pants section of Amazon. Right? You do that in Macy's or you do that in Bloomingdale's, but you have an idea of what type of men's pants you search for it. And either it's a branded search or it's, fleece running pants for who like fleece running pants. But in any event, you're driving to search, and then you have a shot. Your product has stars or not, it has reviews or not. And people, the final addiction that I think is amazing about Amazon is that one click to buy. Like, it's just so frictionless once you figure out what you're interested in. How many books have you bought almost without thinking, right? You walked away from a conversation where someone said, this book's amazing. And you did it on your mobile and you saw it and you were like, click, and it shows up at your house or in your Kindle and you're done. It was barely a thought. That power, that persuasiveness of that unique user experience and the satisfaction, and more of us got last year with things we never had delivered. I never had Whole Foods delivered before, but you're going to be very hard pressed to get me in a Whole Foods going forward, right? It comes to my house. Fantastic.
So Larry, definitely today I'm going to go on to Amazon and look up pants, just to be the first person to ever do that.
Look up yoga pants.
Yeah, but I think that, like all of us last year, we probably bought more items via commerce engines like Amazon than ever before. And certainly I would say it's going to be the world is going to be hard pressed to go backwards and go back to, I don't think anyone's going back to the shopping mall anytime soon.
Yep.
So clearly this is really key. But as you think out, why is it that what you're delivering, why is it so critical for brands today?
You've got to get, nothing's ever changed in advertising. It's always been about being closer to the consumer. But to our surprise, as we know, the media landscape has fractured. The consumer's attention is frankly fractured as well. And so, to the degree, reach out and pull people in and pull in the right people, right? We are still in the business, as Bill Bernbach said, of persuasion, but we have the data to figure out who's persuadable, right? Modern digital marketing is not about the extremes, such as we saw in politics. There's nothing I can say to my neighbor who's a Trumper that's going to convince them that it wasn't stolen, right? So, but there are people within the Republican Party who, convinced that it's reasonable that we should do what we should do as a country to repair the damage being caused by COVID to our economy, to infrastructure, and all those other things. So for marketers, if you can identify the perceivable people, get the message to them, and I call that sort of narrowcasting at scale, right? You're not really looking for max reach and frequency. You're looking for efficient reach and frequency that's going to bring more fish to the experience. They'll buy where they want to buy. They may go to the store, but a lot of them are not. They don't see the point in it if they really know what they need to buy and what their size is, and then you're in a race a little bit to pull them in and make it, obviously, how many sites have you abandoned because it's too hard to put your credit card in, right? So, right, if it's not frictionless, they'll still go away, but you have your best shot to speak with them instead of at them, because you should know more about them. If you're an e-commerce company, you should know more about who your customers are, and be able to figure out more ways of finding more of that audience and bringing them in.
So, I mean, Larry, this is not your first kind of early stage business that you've been involved in. And I mean, I know the work that you've done with Ansible, obviously Pubmatic. As you guys get going here with Alpha, I mean, you guys launched what, in November?
Yeah, we launched October.
Okay, so October. So it's still early days. I mean, what are some of the challenges that you guys are facing?
I think there's challenges. I think there's, we are unique in that we're a minority business enterprise, and I'm not. It's hard for me to tell you that everyone knows what that means or why that matters, or may matter to them as a brand. So out of Amazon's 5 million sellers, it doesn't matter, right? So I think the challenges we have are threefold. The first is one of the responsibilities that's difficult for people of data-driven marketing. Not just enough to be right time, right place. You have to actually have a persuasive message in that place, right? So what you do on CTV is going to be different, frankly, than what you're going to do. Is going to be a little different than you're going to do on an NFL game. But all those things are available to you on Amazon if you are an advertiser, regardless of size. And so, but also, what are the stories you tell when you retarget versus when you're just doing a banner? How do you measure those things? If you're an e-commerce person, you're obsessed with ROAS. And so understanding that the top of the funnel contributes to ROAS, it's almost like a Farah-Jacques function, right? What you do in terms of driving awareness shows up later in sales. And so it may be outside the window that many people are used to when they're so search focused. Search has a very short measurement back window because we search and there's an immediate benefit for that. So I think, what's the importance of brand? I think a lot of people, we've been teaching them that a branded search on Amazon is more powerful than a general search, right? If you search for a particular type of earbud, you're more likely to buy that for blue earbuds, right? And yet we see all those things. We can see all that in Amazon. And so storytelling, awareness of the different channels and how our brand is less understood in our time than it was when we were kids, right? And so that story reinvigorated now because it's actually more important than ever, because with all the fractured stuff, it is a way to cut through, right? If I tell you what Beats, you know what Beats is, right? But right, but unless you are of a certain age, if I say JBL, you think speakers, you don't think earbuds, right? So right. Those things actually matter, and reinvigorating that within our clients is really important. And then reporting, right? So you're nothing in e-commerce if you can't report. And if it's not enough to show them the report, every report actually has a story about success and about learnings. And so, teaching people dashboard is that actually going to make them better marketers, because at the end of the day, who are in this business, we want better marketers because it makes it easier for us, right? So every client experience, I want them to see sales, and so reporting is very, very important. I think the data part is a little bit like your car engine. I don't think people actually want to know the real details of the data, but they want the general story, right? You take your car, you have engine's doing. You just know that either it runs or it's broken, and broken's bad. So those things. I hope that made sense.
No, it makes complete sense, and it makes me realize why you're the perfect person to be playing a key role here. I mean, when somebody looks at kind of a sheet of data and their eyes glaze over, really what they're looking for is a story, right? And if you're able to put that story there and make it make sense, it's what's key. It's what's needed. And you're absolutely right. People want to know how to kind of pull that brand story through that the commerce engine. So that we don't have kind of that disconnect between the creative artists and the people that are kind of measuring the performance. So I love it. I really, really love it. So tell me what is making you the happiest? What's bringing you joy nowadays in your company?
I think it's exciting, the stuff that's going on Twitch, right? So I think that, it's a community of creators and gamers, and you can do really exciting things. Is that massive reach? No, but does it add up? Engagement over engagement? Absolutely. And the ability to do that and then support it with it, I think is very powerful. And to easily empower those creators to have a CPA model where they are driving Amazon and doing sales, I think is very, I think there's a lot to come on Twitch. I really love everything about CTV. I don't think people understand the differentiating power of it. There is no other CTV platform that I know that has automated retargeting. Right? So do the commercial, then you're an Amazon customer and you saw that commercial. I have the right to retarget you for my product, and that is massive. And I believe that within the next 2 years, at some point, Amazon will add buys to CTV. So I just think it's the most exciting place for CTV, right? Whether you are, and I'm excited all the video, I'm into all the geek stuff, supply path optimization, instant e-commerce, voice. I think that CTV will be the first place where we have really accountable TV, because it's not that hard to measure. You just have to, right? And
bringing together all of those elements that Amazon has across their full spectrum of technology and media assets, right? Connected TV, Alexa, then just the Amazon platform itself. It's incredible.
It's awesome.
I love it. It's incredible, and trying to get all those elements to come together. What a great place to work and play for the next couple of years. So tell me, how do you think it's going to come together? What does that future look like?
There's a couple of things. As you and I know, digital is hard. And so to the degree that you get discouraged by the fact that digital is hard, then you can unlock great value. So it's actually hard to stitch those things together, right? There's no central dashboard. Yes, they're all using AWS, but that doesn't mean they all have the same APIs or the same speed of reporting, or that even they have APIs. And so, stitching those things together, delivering, very exciting for us. And we are so grateful that our clients are giving the opportunity, but it's still really hard. Amazon is really big. We are really small, right? There's not, and the things that we're trying to do for the clients we're trying to do, they're all new, right? There's nothing, we have some simple CTV buys, but those are a blessing. But for the most part, it's like, we want to do influencer, plus we want to do banner, plus we're doing all this search. Often their search setups are not what I would call state of the art, and so fixing that for clients. And then it's confidence is demonstrated ability. So we haven't been around very long. We obviously talk a big game, but you got to actually pull it together, make those things happen. And you got to tell good stories about it. Even if you did it and you pulled it together and you didn't tell a great story about it, you don't win. And at the end of the day, 95% of our stuff is about bringing more shoppers to a client's store, or building their store and bringing it. So if we don't deliver the revenue, nobody cares how cool the rest of it is.
Yeah, I hear you. But I think with the name Alpha Precision, I feel like you guys are almost like a military group coming in to solve these problems. I love it. I learned firsthand from my DARPA experience that, really targeting the persuadable middle, if you can find them, that's the rich part. And, the issue with digital is you have to optimize toward that, because you're never sure
about right time, right place, right audience until they start buying.
Yeah, absolutely. So Larry, I mean, what are some of the things that you think going forward here in 2021 are critical for companies to consider?
Obviously, being who we are, we think a focus on data and the precision that enables in marketing is really important. But also more importantly, and we represent this. We represent this as Alpha. We represent it as Alpha that works within Amazon. Diversity, we now know from BLM or been reminded, is critically important. Not just diversity of who you're targeting, but also diversity of message, diversity in terms of what it enables in innovation, diversity in terms of what it represents in this time and in this era. I really think it's important that everybody step up, because we now know that we're a step behind as a country, and we never meant to be that. And so, obviously, I hope to see agencies step up. I know clients will step up, right? So I know brands are going to step up. I know Amazon's going to step up. I know the government's going to step up. We see the Biden administration stepping up. And so I think it's important and vital to challenge ad agencies, step up, right? Step up. I'm not.
Absolutely. Step up. And I mean, as I think we all finally took a deep breath the other day, and hopefully it's a breath that will kind of power us to the next phase on this type of stuff. I don't know how any company could consider themselves on the path to success if they're not applying diversity, and not thinking about those issues, and not really optimizing in that manner.
Awesome. Well, Bant, you've always been there. You're from Chicago.
Well, listen, I, as I said up front, I have purchased more things than I ever thought I would purchase via e-commerce over the last 12 months. I think my whole buying habits have changed forever, and certainly every brand out there should be listening to you. Larry, it's been great having you on Uncaged. We've been speaking with Larry Harris. He's the co-founder and chief executive officer of Alpha Precision Media. Alpha Precision Media is an omni-channel delivery company that leverages full funnel commerce strategies to deliver data-based advertising campaigns that help brands and media buyers achieve their business goals. We've been talking to him about really the merging of marketing together with commerce, and how those things are coming together heavily in the Amazon universe, and what Alpha Precision Media is doing for its new clients as it helps them navigate that world. Larry, it's been great having you on the show today.
Awesome to be on the show, Ben. It's always a joy to speak to you. As you know, I miss our balcony cocktails, and really appreciate everything you've done. You've always been a leader in the industry. Love Canary. Great company, great people, and excited about Uncaged. It's a fantastic new initiative. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you, and it's great to talk about this stuff. Hopefully, Larry, we can see each other in the real world again very, very soon. That wraps it up for Uncaged this week. Uncaged is a show that gives a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the world of commerce tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us, and tune in again soon. Cheers.
Awesome.